Dad thought the car ahead of us knew where to park, so he followed them. But instead, we ended up on the freeway.
Oh no, it doesn't make sense to follow someone blindly, especially if they don't know where they're going. Hi, I'm Zach, and you're listening to Keys for Kids. Have you ever played the game Follow the Leader? It's so much fun. We used to play at the park where we climbed on playground equipment, weaved our way through the swing sets, and sometimes even jumped through mud puddles. But in life, it's not a fun game if you're following the wrong people. So instead of following others, why not be a good leader and help people find Jesus instead? Here's 1 Timothy 4:12. Be an example to all believers in what you say, in the way you live, in your life, your faith, and your purity. Now, let's tune into our story. It's entitled, Follow the Leader. "Look at all the people," exclaimed Austin. "This traffic is terrible." "Yes," said Dad. "Today's parade better be good or I'll wish I stayed home." He inched forward with the traffic. "A lot of cars are turning here. Looks like a good idea to me. Maybe they know of a place to park around the corner." He made a right turn, following the car in front of him. Immediately, the traffic speeded up, but instead of finding a place to park, they found themselves on a long ramp leading to the freeway. "Oh no," Dad groaned. "I didn't see the sign for the freeway. Now we'll have to go a few miles before we can turn around." He scowled at the car ahead of him. "Thanks a lot, mister. You led me wrong." Mom laughed. "So it's his fault?" "What about the car behind us?" asked Austin. "I noticed that they followed along too. Is that your fault, Dad?" Dad grinned. "Nope, they should have watched where they were going." Everybody laughed. "Hey, Austin, Dad sounds like you," said Austin's brother David. "Last week you said it wasn't your fault you got in trouble at the church picnic because you were just doing what some older kids were doing. At the same time, you didn't think it was your fault when Gracie copied what you did." All right. We've already dealt with that problem, so let's not keep dredging it up," said Mom. Dad nodded. "There's a lesson here for us, though. We tend to forget that God has given each of us the ability to make our own decisions, and He wants us to do that instead of blindly following the crowd." "Yes," said Mom. "He's also given us the Holy Spirit, who guides us in how to live in a way that shows others we belong to Jesus and have His love in our hearts. He should be the example we follow in everything we do." They were approaching an off-ramp. "I don't know about that guy ahead of me," said Dad, "but I'm going to get off here and turn around." As they left the highway, Austin looked to see if the car behind them would follow. It did. So how about you? Are you using the freedom God gave you to think for yourself instead of following the crowd? Jesus saved you from sin and gave you the Holy Spirit so you could live a life that points to Him and His love for us. Don't use the excuse, "everybody's doing it." Instead, follow Jesus as your example. As you trust Him to help you live in a way that shows His goodness and love, you'll be pointing others to Him. Our key verse is 1 Timothy 4:12.
Be an example to all believers in what you say and the way you live, in your love, your faith, and your purity.
And our key thought today, follow Jesus' example. I'm glad I could spend some time with you reading the Keys for Kids story. If you like the stories, now you can read them on your own by going to the Keys for Kids app. Just ask one of your grown-ups to search for Keys for Kids on your app store. Sign up for a Keys for Kids Unlimited account, and you can go back in time and find every story from the past. Plus, listen to music made just for you on Keys for Kids Radio, and you'll even be able to discover more stories on demand like Down Gilead Lane and Red Rock Mysteries. Just search your app store for Keys for Kids. I'm Zach, and this is Keys for Kids.